Hey class, this is Katrina Berg, and this is your week 3 Check Your Understanding quiz. This week we're going to be talking about market analysis and strategy. I'll be going over some key points from this week's lesson over the next 5 minutes, and then you'll be asked to take a 5-question quiz. So let's get started. When we're talking about marketing analysis and strategy, we're really looking at being smart, using your resources well from a company standpoint in capturing and retaining consumers, getting your product and services out to the market. There are limited resources available to a company, so they need to be able to determine who their core consumer is, who's really going to buy from them, and how they're going to best invest their monies or make a profit on that consumer based on their wants, needs, and values that they would provide to them. So one of the things that they do, there are actually 2 areas that they focus on when they're determining which customer. One is segmentation and 2 is targeting. When we talk about segmentation, we're looking at demographics and behaviors. Who is that consumer that's going to buy from them, and what are their behaviors? How do they purchase? Do they purchase online? Do they purchase every Sunday? What is it that makes them purchase? Is it a coupon reminder? Is it that they have their list ready to go every week and they purchase the same thing? Could be similar habits. This is based upon age. It could be based upon gender. It could be based upon income, for example. So that's segmentation. We're really looking at demographics and behaviors. For targeting, we're looking at more specific things. We're looking at concentrating our efforts on segments of the population. So that might be looking at baby boomers who are just retiring, or baby boomers with children, or baby boomers with a high education. Whatever that might be, you're doing is you're breaking up that segment into very specific targets that work for you. When we look at value propositions, this is another part of market analysis and strategy, we're looking at differentiation and positioning. So this goes to look at differentiating your offer or your product to create superior value. So this is how you would attract, entice, convince the consumer to buy your product. Let's take laundry detergent, for example. There might be OxyClean, which gets your clothes whiter. There might be a laundry detergent that is sustainable and chemical-free. There might be a laundry detergent that has a lavender scent to it. Different segments, different markets want different laundry detergents. So you as a company need to be able to communicate that to the customer as their value and convince them to purchase your product. And you need to understand why that consumer has made that purchase choice. When we talk about positioning, we're talking about positioning the offering in the minds of the target consumers. So the target consumer has a seed in their mind that this is what they want and this is what they need, and that value is worth it based upon what you provide. Let's talk about the life cycle of a consumer. So a consumer does have a life cycle. If you think about it, it's broken up into 4 stages in your books. They talk about the first stage being you're young, you may have just graduated, you're spending your monies on entertainment probably, maybe your first vehicle purchase. Then you go to the second life cycle, which could be marriage, kids, maybe you've purchased your first home or you're renting your first home. You're buying different things and not spending as much money on entertainment necessarily. It might be diapers now. It might be, paying an expensive rent or mortgage. The third life cycle, we're looking at kids have left the house and you now have your freedom back. So you can go back to spending on entertainment. You might get that dream car that you've always thought about getting, or you might be traveling, whatever it might be. There's a different spending habit there probably. And then you go to that fourth life cycle, which is old age. You're probably spending more on health care. You're probably downsizing, which may mean moving back into an apartment or purchasing a smaller home. So again, be aware that there are life cycles for consumers, and companies need to be aware of that because there are different needs for that consumer. Moving on, let's talk a little bit about CRM. Companies need to think about what CRM system they want to invest in. There are different software programs. Again, CRM is customer relationship management, and how robust you want that system, how well you want it to communicate to your consumer, how much information you want it to capture on that consumer, because this will help with the segmentation and targeting and determine how you best connect and convince and retain that consumer. It can be expensive, but it can also provide the company with a larger return on their investment. So that's a company decision that they need to make on how much they invest. One last thing really quickly, consumers do have a lifetime value. So that is how much they would spend with a certain company over their lifetime. For vehicles, high purchase value, but they're probably going to be low amounts of purchase, maybe 4 vehicles in your lifespan. Some less, maybe more. But again, companies can attach a consumer life value to what they're looking at for their customer. That's it. Good luck on your quiz. Thanks, class.